The cafe was buzzing with laughter, clinking cups, and loud music that vibrated through the walls. People enjoyed the chaos, everyone except the little girl sitting near the window. She was around 8, with soft curls and wide, anxious eyes. Her hands pressed tightly against her ears as if trying to hold the world out. Her mother whispered something soothing, but the little girl's breathing grew faster. No one noticed her discomfort in the room full of noise, except the CEO standing in line. Everyone knew him as cold, strict, and emotionless, but at that moment, something in his expression changed as he watched her struggle. He studied the way she flinched with every beat of the music, her shoulders tensing like she was bracing for impact. He recognized it immediately: sensory overload. His own sister, years ago, used to do the same. The loud sounds, bright lights, even too many voices could overwhelm her instantly. The CEO's jaw tightened, but not in anger. This was worry, empathy he didn't show to anyone. While people waited impatiently behind him, he stepped aside from the counter and looked toward the speaker blasting music that was too loud even for him. The mother tried again, softly stroking her daughter's arm. "It's okay, sweetie. Almost done," she whispered. But the girl shook her head and whimpered. A waiter passed by, unaware, accidentally knocking a tray that clattered loudly. The girl gasped and curled into herself. The CEO watched with a heaviness in his chest. He had built an empire with ruthless precision, but something as simple as a frightened child made him feel powerless. He took one step toward the speaker, then another, moving with a quiet determination no one expected from him. He reached up and turned the volume down, slowly but firmly, until the cafe fell into a gentle hum instead of a storm of sound. Conversations quieted. The sudden change made a few customers look around, confused, but no one said anything. The girl looked up, blinking rapidly, her hands lowering just a little. Her mother noticed the shift and looked around for whoever had helped. When her eyes landed on the CEO, she froze. Almost everyone in town feared him, but she saw something else: genuine concern. The CEO didn't return to his place in line. Instead, he approached cautiously, making sure he didn't move too fast or stand too close. He crouched so he wouldn't tower over the girl. "Is this better?" he asked gently, his voice calm, almost soft, something his employees would never believe. The girl hesitated, then nodded slowly, her fingers still twitching from leftover anxiety. He offered a small smile, the kind that didn't feel rehearsed or businesslike. The mother exhaled in relief. "I'm sorry," the mother said quickly, embarrassed. She's autistic. Loud noises make her overwhelmed sometimes. We didn't expect the cafe to be this loud today." The CEO nodded as if he already knew. "It's not her fault," he replied. "Places like this should be more mindful." The mother blinked. She expected judgment, annoyance, anything except understanding. Her daughter looked at him curiously, her breathing finally steadying. He didn't treat her like a problem, he treated her like a person. A young barista noticed the lowered volume and rushed over. "Sir, is everything okay?" she asked nervously. The CEO stood, turning back into the imposing figure everyone recognized. "The music was too loud," he said simply. The barista nodded quickly as if she feared he might fire her for the volume, but instead he added, "Let's keep it at this level. It's more comfortable, for everyone." His eyes briefly shifted back to the girl as he said it. The mother gently nudged her daughter. "Sweetie, say thank you." But instead of speaking, the girl reached into her pocket and pulled out a small, worn notebook. She flipped to a page and held it up. Written in colorful letters was, "Thank you for being kind." The CEO's eyes softened instantly. He wasn't expecting anything, much less such a heartfelt gesture. The mother looked apologetic. "She writes when she feels too shy to talk," she explained. He shook his head. "It's perfect." The girl, still curious, began to study his suit: sharp lines, expensive fabric, cold colors. She touched her ear gently and then looked at him. "You knew," she murmured very quietly. It was just loud enough for her mother to hear but soft enough to surprise them both. He nodded. "My sister," he said simply. "She used to cover her ears just like you." Noise felt like 1,000 needles to her. The girl's eyes widened, and for the first time since entering the cafe, she smiled. Her mother's eyes grew misty, not from sadness but from finally being understood. "People usually get annoyed," she whispered. "Some even stare. You're the first one who helped without hesitation. The CEO shrugged lightly. It costs nothing to be kind. And noise isn't more important than comfort. For someone known as ruthless, his words felt strangely warm. Even the barista, still nearby, stared at him with surprise, as if she was witnessing a different man entirely. A few customers who overheard the conversation glanced at the CEO with newfound respect. Rumors had always painted him as cold-hearted, but now they saw something different. He didn't care about the room's opinion, he only cared that the little girl was okay. The mother gently took her daughter's hand and whispered, "See. There are good people everywhere." The girl leaned slightly toward the CEO and gave a tiny nod, as if agreeing silently. Before leaving, the CEO reached into his briefcase and pulled out a small, noise-dampening headphone case, sleek, expensive, and clearly used with care. "These belong to my sister," he said quietly. "She passed them on when she grew older. I think they might help your daughter more than they ever help me now." The mother covered her mouth in disbelief. I can't accept that," she whispered. But he simply placed them on the table. The girl opened the case slowly, her eyes sparkling at the soft padded headphones inside. She slipped them over her ears and sighed, a pure, relieved sound. She looked up at him with gratitude deeper than words. The CEO felt something shift inside him, something he hadn't allowed himself to feel in years. It was a simple moment, but it felt strangely healing. As he turned to leave, the girl suddenly stood and reached out, gently touching his sleeve. He paused. She held up another page from her notebook. This one read, "You're not cold. You're kind." The CEO froze, unable to speak for a moment. His expression softened into something few had ever seen from him, vulnerability, mixed with warmth. He gave her a small nod and whispered, "Thank you." When he walked out of the cafe, he felt lighter than he had in years. The world outside was just as loud, just as harsh, but something inside him had shifted. And inside the cafe, the mother hugged her daughter tightly. "You helped someone today too," she whispered. The girl smiled, tapping her new headphones. "He helped me first," she said softly. And in that quiet moment, both of them understood that kindness, especially unexpected kindness, can change everything.